Before the world begins its noise, before merchants open their stalls and soldiers march their routes, he already stands. This is not a story of wealth. It is not about power or fame. It is the story of the quiet warrior within you, the part that refuses to bow to impulse. You look at life, and you see chaos. You see people rushing, opinions clashing, moments slipping like sand through your fingers. But pause, just for a breath. What if the world never changes? What if distraction never stops? What if anger is always ready to swallow your peace? Then you must become unshakable. Patience is not waiting. Patience is strength under control. A young man's fire burns bright, then burns out. A disciplined mind burns steady, always. Here, at the edge of dawn, our philosopher does not walk toward the world. He walks toward himself. He walks because he chooses patience over impulse. He breathes because he chooses clarity over chaos. When insult tries to rise, he does not roar. He breathes. When fear tries to whisper, he does not tremble. He stands firmer. Self-grooming is not vanity. It is mastery. Training your body is work. Training your mind is power. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. When frustration rises, don't react. Observe, breathe, respond. That pause, that quiet mind, is where strength lives. This philosopher does not conquer others. He conquers himself, and that difference is everything. Today, let your first battle be won before sunrise, when the silence inside you, when the calm before the storm, when patience when the world demands your anger. And remember this, a disciplined mind is the foundation of a life worth living. Music swells gently, scene transitions to marketplace. Louder ambient sound, marketplace noise, gradual music build. The world will not lower its voice for you. It will not slow down because you feel overwhelmed. It will not soften because you are tired. Noise is inevitable. Pressure is guaranteed. Chaos is part of life. Look around. Voices arguing, merchants shouting, people pushing for position, everyone demanding attention. This is where most men lose themselves. They react. They flare up. They let emotion pull the strings. But watch closely. In the center of the noise, he is still, not because the chaos disappeared, but because he refused to let it enter him. You cannot stop people from speaking. You cannot stop events from happening. You cannot control the storm of the marketplace, but you can control your response. That is power. Patience in silence is easy. Patience in noise is mastery. When someone disrespects you, your ego wants to respond immediately. When someone challenges you, your pride wants to fight. But strength is not reaction. Strength is restraint. Restraint is not weakness. It is controlled fire. A disciplined man does not give his emotions to strangers. He does not allow temporary situations to control permanent character. Every insult is a test. Every inconvenience is training. While others are ruled by impulse, he chooses awareness. He listens more than he speaks. He pauses before responding. He understands something most never learn. If you cannot control your emotions, you will never control your life. Let the world be loud. Let people misunderstand you. Let the moment pass without your anger, because calmness under pressure is a weapon few possess. In the center of chaos, be the still point. That is where real power lies. Music rises slightly, transition to next scene. Music lower, slower, heavy atmosphere. Not every battle is fought with weapons. Some are fought in silence. Inside the chest, trust is given carefully. Respect is earned slowly. But betrayal? It arrives without warning. A friend turns distant. An ally speaks against you. Someone you trusted chooses themselves over loyalty. And in that moment, your heart burns. Anger rises. Disappointment tightens your breath. The mind demands revenge. But this is the real test. Anyone can stay calm in comfort. Few can remain dignified in betrayal. Look at him. He does not shout. He does not chase explanations. He does not beg for loyalty, because he understands something powerful. People act according to their nature, not yours. You cannot control another man's character, but you can protect your own. When betrayed, the weak react with emotion. The disciplined respond with silence, not because it doesn't hurt, but because they refuse to let pain decide their actions. Betrayal reveals truth. It shows you who people are, and more importantly, it shows you who you are. Will you become bitter, or will you become stronger? Dignity is strength without noise. When someone wrongs you, do not lower yourself to their level. Stand taller. Walk away with your peace intact. Your character is more valuable than temporary satisfaction. Revenge feeds ego. Self-control builds power. Let them speak. Let them leave. Let them misunderstand. You remain steady, because the man who masters his emotions cannot be defeated by another's behavior. Betrayal is not your downfall. It is your refinement. And in silence, you rise. Music deepens, fades slowly into next scene transition. Grand but controlled music. Subtle palace ambience. Power is more dangerous than pain. Pain tests your endurance. Power tests your character. When you have nothing, discipline is survival. But when doors open, when people praise you, when influence grows, that is the real examination. Look around. Marble floors, voices seeking approval, eyes watching, whispers of opportunity. This is where ego begins to speak. You deserve more. Show them who you are. Claim your position. But the Stoic understands something rare. The louder the applause, the quieter you must become inside. Power is not proven by dominance. It is proven by restraint. Anyone can command attention. Few can remain humble while receiving it. When others chase recognition, he chases discipline. When others inflate themselves with praise, he shrinks his ego, because he knows the same crowd that celebrates you today can criticize you tomorrow. If your confidence depends on applause, you will always be controlled by it. True strength is internal. It does not rise with praise. It does not collapse with criticism. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less. He walks through halls of influence with the same posture he had in solitude. No arrogance, no insecurity, just control. Power reveals who you are. If you are undisciplined, it magnifies weakness. If you are grounded, it magnifies character. The Stoic does not reject responsibility. He rejects ego. Because once ego takes control, discipline disappears. Stay grounded when you rise. Stay calm when they praise you. Stay disciplined when opportunity knocks. Master yourself before you attempt to lead others. That is real power. Music fades slowly, preparing for next transition. Soft wind, distant night ambience, slow atmospheric music. When the noise fades, when the crowd disappears, when the sun goes down, you are left alone with your thoughts. And that is where the real battle begins. Fear does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers. What if you fail? What if you lose everything? What if you are not enough? In the darkness, these questions grow louder. But understand this. Fear is natural. Panic is a choice. Look at him, alone beneath the night sky. No audience, no protection, no distraction, just silence. His heart beats. The wind moves. The unknown surrounds him. And yet, he does not run. Most men try to escape fear. They distract themselves. They bury it under noise, pleasure, or pride. But the disciplined man sits with it. He listens, because fear loses power when you face it directly. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is control in its presence. The storm outside is temporary. The storm inside can be permanent if you never confront it. So sit in the dark. Feel the discomfort. Let the mind speak its worst thoughts. Then breathe. Slow, deep, controlled. You are not your fear. You are the observer of it. When you stop resisting fear, it stops controlling you. Strength is built in silence, while others sleep in ignorance. You build resilience in awareness. The night is not your enemy. It is your training ground. And when morning comes, you will not just be awake. You will be stronger. Music slowly rises, preparing for transition.